Picture this, a conflict as old as time itself, where the lines between history and modernity blur into a tangled web of power, passion, and territorial strife. The Russo-Ukrainian War, a saga filled with more twists and turns than a Hollywood blockbuster, has captivated the world's attention. But hold on tight, because we're about to take a wild ride through the surprisingly old origins of this far-reaching clash. As the saying goes, the past is never dead, it's not even past. So, grab your attention, buckle up, and let's dive into the epic tale of the Russo-Ukrainian War, where history and chaos collide in a battle that would make even the most audacious movie plot look like a stroll in the park. We find ourselves in Eastern Europe, where history's pendulum swings between triumph and turmoil. This is a labyrinthine tale, one of Russia, Ukraine, their forebears, forgotten heroes, and hidden secrets. Let us journey back to the ancient times when the Kievan Rus and Novgorod flourished, as it represents significant aspects of the region's history. The Kievan Rus was a medieval federation of East Slavic tribes that emerged in the 9th century and reached its height of power in the 10th to 11th centuries. It was centered around the city of Kiev or Kiev, depending on who you ask, which served as the capital and political hub of the federation. The Kievan Rus encompassed territories in modern-day Ukraine, Russia, and Belarus. The Kievan Rus played a crucial role in shaping the foundations of Slavic heritage and culture and political structures in Eastern Europe. It adopted Christianity from Byzantium, which had a profound influence on art, architecture, and religious practices. The Kievan Rus also had trade connections with Byzantium, as well as the Islamic world and Scandinavia, contributing to cultural exchanges and economic prosperity. Notably, the Kievan Rus is often regarded as the predecessor to modern-day Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus, as it laid the groundwork for the development of their distinct cultures, languages, and identities. Speaking of distinct identities, now is a good time to introduce the Principality of Novgorod. The Principality of Novgorod was a medieval city-state located in the northwest region of modern-day Russia. It emerged as a major center of trade, governance, and cultural development during the 9th to 15th centuries. Novgorod was situated along key trade routes, which allowed it to flourish and establish strong ties with other Baltic and Scandinavian cities. Novgorod played a vital role in Russian history by acting as a bridge between Eastern and Western influences. The city-state developed its unique political system known as the Vesh, a popular assembly that had a significant say in decision-making. This system represented an early form of democratic governance. Novgorod also made notable contributions to art, literature, and architecture. The city's impressive cathedral, such as St. Sophia Cathedral, showcased distinctive architectural styles that blended Byzantine and local traditions. Both the Kievan Rus and the Principality of Novgorod played critical roles in the early medieval period of Russian history. They also laid the groundwork for future political, cultural, and religious developments, leaving a lasting impact on the region's identity. During the time period between the medieval times and the Russian Revolution, the region of Ukraine also shaped its own unique identity. Its close interactions with Central Asian cultures infused Ukraine with a rich tapestry of influences from the Cumans, Mongols, Turks, and Alans. This cultural fusion, spanning the early modern and modern eras, added depth and complexity to Ukraine's historical journey. The time period between the medieval times and the Russian Revolution can be broadly categorized as the early modern and modern eras, with the major periods of early modern era, late 15th century to late 18th century. This era saw significant political, social, and cultural changes in Russia. It began with the reign of Ivan III, the Great, of Moscow, who asserted Moscow's dominance over other Russian territories and ended Mongol rule over the Muscovites. This period witnessed the expansion of the Russian state, exploration of Siberia, and consolidation of Ivan's autocratic rule. Under Peter the Great in late 17th to early 18th century, Russia underwent a period of westernization and modernization. Reforms were implemented, such as the establishment of a regular army, the modernization of the navy, the introduction of Western-style institutions, and the founding of the new capital, St. Petersburg. Imperial Russia truly came to life from the late 18th century to the early 20th century. The 18th century saw the continued expansion of the Russian Empire under Catherine the Great. She continued many of Peter the Great's efforts, spurring Russia to become a major European power, experiencing advancement in arts, literature, and education. The 19th century witnessed the reigns of Alexander I, Nicholas I, Alexander II, and Alexander III, characterized by various social, political, and economic developments. This period also witnessed the abolition of serfdom in 1861, industrialization, rapid urbanization, and the emergence of revolutionary movements. It set the stage for the tensions and conflicts that would eventually lead to the Russian Revolution. As the empire faced the unimaginable toll of World War I, internal strife began to simmer within its borders. A land simmering with internal strife that set the stage for revolution in October 1917, the Bolshevik Party, led by Vladimir Lenin, staged the October Revolution. Seizing power from the provisional government, the Bolsheviks established a social state and embarked on radical social and economic reforms, leading to the formation of the Soviet Union in 1922. Imagine the following: the elite sipping tea in their opulent salons, while the common folk groan under the weight of economic disparity, the gap between the haves and the have-nots growing wider than the Volga River itself. It was a time of precarious balance, where the ruling class teetered on a precipice of their own creation, completely oblivious to the growing discontent brewing below. This class divide fueled the Russian Revolution, a spectacle that would make even the finest playwright green with envy. The stage was set for a grand showdown, for the commencement of the Civil War. Now, a closer focus on the Ukrainian-Soviet War, a tale of passion and determination that echoed throughout the region. Ukraine, fueled by dreams of independence, stood at a crossroads of destiny. Amidst the tumultuous events of the Russian Revolution and the subsequent Civil War, allegiances and sympathies fluctuated like the winds of change. In Ukraine specifically, as the famous movie character once said, there was a storm coming, and that storm was called independence. Fueled by the aspirations of its people, the Ukrainian People's Republic declared its independence on January 22, 1918. This marked a pivotal moment in Ukrainian history, even while various factions within the country vied for power, shaping the future of their nation. As another famous movie quote comes to us here, "The choices we make, the alliances we forge, they define us." In the midst of the conflict, the Bolsheviks, with their message of radical social change, resonated with workers and peasants in Russia and Ukraine. They had a dream, a revolution that would shake the foundations of the old order, and many found solace in their promise of ending the war and empowering the working class. Yet, on the other side, the White Army stood firm, representing those who longed for the restoration of the old order. Some say the past is gone, but it's never really over. And for monarchists, aristocrats, and members of the intelligentsia aligned with the whites, the struggle was about reclaiming a bygone era. Caught in this complex and fluid landscape, Ukrainians faced a unique challenge. The Ukrainian People's Republic, with its vision of an independent Ukrainian state, stood as a beacon of hope. It was the call of freedom, of self-determination that echoed in their hearts. Alongside them, forces led by Simon Petliura sought their own path forward. They fought not just for land, but for the very essence of their identity. Yet, allegiances were as diverse as the land itself, as individuals and regions made choices based on their own interests, beliefs, and circumstances. And so, amid the chaos of the revolution and the civil war, Ukraine's desire for independence burned hot, while both Russians and Ukrainians navigated the swirling currents of loyalty and ideology. In this dramatic dance of power, three armies emerged as key players on the stage of conflict: the Red Army, determined to rewrite the script of history, the monarchist White Army, longing for a return to the bygone era of crowns and castles, and a lesser-known troop, the anarchist Black Army, led by the enigmatic Nestor Makhno. They were the rebels with a cause, fighting for a world free from both capitalist exploitation and Bolshevik authoritarianism. Their audacity and unwavering commitment to their principles left even the most seasoned revolutionaries scratching their heads. Well, Makhno and his Black Army truly embodied these concepts, defying the odds with their guerrilla tactics and staunch resolve. Some have said that they fought with such ferocity that the Reds and Whites feared them more than Rasputin himself. But what happened next, you ask? It is not a pleasant scene to portray. The dust settles, the guns fall silent, and a new era dawns. Alas, it was not the dawn of harmony and prosperity, but rather the beginning of a dark chapter. As the Soviet regime tightened its grip, a chilling shadow descended upon the land. Russians, Ukrainians, and countless others bore the brunt of post-war repression, facing the ruthless machinery of control. The state security and intelligence services conducted their sinister operations, spying on their own citizens and instilling fear in the hearts of even the bravest souls. Many drew comparisons between them and the cunning ruthlessness of Ivan the Terrible's spies and bodyguards. The Oprichniki, the farmers of Ukraine, remained stalwart and resilient amidst the storm. They tilled the land and sowed their dreams, only to reap the bitter fruits of Soviet policy. But fear not, for in the face of adversity, they stood tall, their spirits unbroken. They were the unsung heroes, the backbone of the nation, who weathered the tempest and sowed the seeds of resilience, whose unceasing productive spirit would eventually earn them the label of kulaks, grain-hoarding enemies of the state. It is through their wit and resourcefulness that they navigated the treacherous and repressive landscape, utilizing every scrap to ensure their survival. And so, we bid adieu to this exhilarating expedition through the tangled webs of Russian and Ukrainian history, from the internal strife that birthed revolution to the forgotten tales of the Black Army, the shifting loyalties of Russians and Ukrainians, the Ukrainian-Soviet War, and the post-war repression. These chapters reveal the heart and soul of a tumultuous era. It is a testament to the indomitable spirit of the people, for in the darkest of times they found humor, they found resilience, and they found the strength to shape their own destinies. Join us on our next escapade as we delve even deeper into the labyrinth of history, unearthing more hidden gems from the vaults of time. Until our paths cross again, stay curious, stay bold, and may the spirit of adventure guide you on your own historical journey. As the great cinematic legend once said, "It's not the years, honey, it's the mileage."
Oh, poop.